Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight, well, let me first say, this is a bonus reading for Virgo. And our card tonight is the Devil card. It is from Tarot of the Abyss. I'm trying to hold the cat. TT is over here, cuddling up already. Okay, so let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Oh, we got a poodle. Look at that poodle right here barking. It's a very kind of, what is the regal dog? But I've learned that, like, now this is anecdotal, but I've learned that poodles are much more aggressive than you might think. And I've never known a terrible poodle or anything, but yeah, I never knew that. I thought they were pretty docile, but I guess I'm wrong. They are beautiful, however. I think they're actually like guard dogs of some kind. I could be wrong about that, but I was very surprised to learn that, because when you see them, you think, oh, they're so elegant looking. Okay, let's see. All right, let's start with that poodle. So we do have, when we have the dog, this is somebody who is very loyal to us, who we are loyal to them. Man's best friend, right? And so this is a good friend, and they are sounding the alarm about something. I feel like there has kind of been like a dose of reality, right? This is somebody who is like bringing you facts about something. They are like trying to get you to see things realistically. Now, as a Virgo, I'm going to take a little sip here, sorry. I have a little bit, well, I have the flu, okay? I'm just going to be honest. I'm getting over it, but it just doesn't stop when you have young kids. They just have so many germy places that kids are at, and I don't know, it's been the last 2 years during flu season have been wild for me. I've never been sick like this ever in my life. Thankfully we get through it really quickly, but it's not helpful when I have to talk. So anyways, now, I think that this is kind of, and I keep seeing this by the mouth. It looks like an E. There's like a name, maybe, with the E. And now, as a Virgo, I think that you usually see things pretty clearly, but there's also this aspect of distorting reality to fit kind of your comfort zone of life, if that makes sense. Now, I say this not as any kind of indictment. I say this as a fellow Virgo. We kind of like to, listen, we're the kind of people that are like, just keep it to the point, be real with us. I just want you to like say what it is, right? And I think that's true. I think we have that impulse. And for mostly, yes, that's what we want. But I also think that Virgos get their feelings hurt really easily. We really do. So, you know, to have a friend who, and this is what I'm thinking, they are really good at communicating with you, elegantly so. Okay, they're a beautiful, beautiful way of expressing themselves. Now, I think they're trying to get you to see something. And I don't know, I want to keep looking, but I think, and here's the thing, I'm seeing a house right here. Okay, now it has lunar energy. So this is an emotional place. This is a place that I feel like maybe has to do with, and now the moon is emotional, the emotional waters, but it also has a really large aspect of illusionary. Okay, so I feel like there's almost a sense of, and then we have this person on a horse kind of leaving the area of the house. I wonder if there's a sense of desire or some kind of your will is aligned with your desire to leave the situation that you're in, or at least venture out of it. And I think that there's a wild attraction to somebody or something. Okay, and I think that this maybe, because we have that moon right there, this maybe is somebody or something that you're not seeing the full picture. But your friend is looking at the situation going on and saying, hey, pump the brakes. There's something weird here. Something off about whatever's going on. And I think that you have this instinct, and maybe this is a Virgo thing, but the instinct to, if you're like me, which I don't know, maybe I'm just like this, I don't know, but it's like, I don't like the whole dating part. It's like we get to know each other and then we're married. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna court for years, and maybe we will, but it needs to be serious. Okay. So I feel like there is a sense of, there is an urgency, but I don't think there's any like particular factor besides you fall in love and you fall fully in love. But I wonder if there aren't some red flags here. Now, we also have a person standing here, okay, and they're holding, it looks like a flower, but that flower is wilted. It's kind of hanging over. So I almost wonder if, as you get closer to this thing happening, this maybe, and I feel like this is maybe a relationship. I really get the instinct that it's like you've met somebody, and I don't know, maybe you met somebody like online, or it's like a long distance thing. And you're getting to know them and everything seems perfect. They're like this amazing person, in this kind of very contained way that you're either like texting or, on social media talking, or maybe you do like phone calls and voice, or video chats or whatever. And all of that's well and good, but you don't really have like a good indicator of what their personal life is like. Okay. And I think that this friend of yours really is like, there are some red flags. And I think that this is the thing with this Devil card. I think that there's just this real desire to feel seen, heard, and to be chosen. Okay. And I think that all these things that you want are kind of being met, but I don't know that the context of it is there, like in the right place yet. Okay. I think it's so important to take your time with people. I know I shouldn't give advice, but, if I've learned something in life is that if it is something that's really meant to be, it will last over time. You know, you don't have to rush into it. And I know this because I found the most wonderful man. Shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot, my husband over there, Paul. He's an amazing tarot reader. Go check him out. You know, when I met him online, I should say, it took us, I wanted to talk for like 2 years. Okay, we were on the phone all the time together, always, you know, chatting and whatever. And we waited for both of, you know, he had reasons, I had reasons, but we waited and you know, and it worked out. We finally got together and got married and had a kid and all that stuff. You know, both of which we didn't think we would do. And I'm not trying to brag, you know, we're just regular people. We have regular people problems like anybody else. But I think the important thing is to trust in yourself. And I know sometimes it's so passionate and it's like, I just, you know, I want to be together right now, you know. But the thing is, you know, if this is something that you want to be long term, you know, and if not, hey, cool, you know, awesome. Absolutely no judgment here. Have fun. But, you know, take your time. Make sure that you are looking into things. Now, this is the other thing about a Virgo. I don't know if this is true or not, but I believe this in my heart of hearts. There are August Virgos, there are September Virgos. And a September Virgo is like, if you need a detective, you go to a September Virgo, because they will find all the details. They are like the bounty hunters, personal investigators of the universe, okay? Now, it's August Virgos. Maybe we're a little bit more like, you know, I don't necessarily need to know everything. I'm going to go off my feelings a little bit more. Does that serve us well always? Maybe not, okay? But, you know, at the same time, sometimes you find things about people, you don't really know the context, okay? But I do think that this person who you have feelings for, or you're excited about, you have a crush on, you know, maybe want to start a friendship, just, you know, go slowly. And it doesn't even have to be somebody who's like online. I know I use that because I know a lot of us meet people on the internet, you know. But it could be that you met out in the wild, and, you know, if that's true, awesome. You know, I can't imagine meeting people in real life and making friends with them. That's like a superpower, I think. But you know, you never really know what's going on with people, you know, so you have to go slowly, I think. You know, and if you have a friend who's looking out for you like that, here's the thing. They're really putting themselves out there, because, you know, as I know, as anybody knows, you don't want to be the person bringing the bad news to somebody, especially somebody who might be in love, right? Because you're going to be the one they evict from their life. If you're bringing, you know, these details that they don't want to hear. So this friend really is a good friend. I think that they maybe don't know for sure what's going on. They maybe don't have, you know, the right facts or whatever. But I think that they are putting themselves in a position where they ultimately, you know, could be kind of cast out of your life. But they love you and care about you so much that they're willing to do that. Okay, so I would at least take a look at what they maybe are saying. Okay, so we have a Gemini. We also have 25. So the number 25, but we have a Gemini person, and let's see. What is it? Okay. So we have a person sitting here. You can see the face. They're looking right at us. Their eyes, like they've turned their head. Now it looks like they're holding a paper, like they're sitting reading the paper. And they stop and they look right at you, right into your eyes. And I almost feel like this is like a parent, maybe a grandparent. And I almost feel like it's like they're saying, like, you know better than that. I don't know why they're saying that. You know better than that. But it feels like, yeah, like I feel like this is a person, like maybe they were a little bit old school. Maybe not fully like emotionally available to you. Maybe sometimes they were even like a little bit harsh and kind of, you know, I don't know, like hurt your feelings. Okay. But they loved you. They loved you deeply. And I think that in their own way, they really just wanted to protect you. Now I feel like probably they're from the old world a little bit, right? And you maybe grew up more in this modern era. You know, you had a little more autonomy. You had more choices, the ability to do things that you wanted to do. And this family member worried for you because they came from a different time. Okay. And so I feel like, you know, that they maybe have transitioned and they watch over you. But still, it's funny because I'm experiencing them as being so loving and so protective. Yet, even still in the transition here, there's a sense of kind of scolding you in a way, but it's like strangely in this like really loving way. Like, you know better. You know better. Listen to yourself. You already know what's going on. You know. Now, if you decide that you want to be part of this illusion, then that's up to you, okay? But you need to make an informed decision because you already know in your gut that something isn't as it seems, okay? And it's funny because I feel like this person really would make eye contact. It was important to them that you looked at them in the eye when they were talking to you. And I think that really stands out to you. You just, whatever it is, you know, especially when you're a kid and it's like you're a little bit in trouble and you got to stand there and look, right? And it can be difficult. I mean, I myself, you know, I'm neurodivergent and I don't have it's not impossible for me to make eye contact. I have to be very aware of it. I have to think about it to do it. Like, I'm always like thinking like, do I seem like I'm paying attention? Do they know that I'm paying attention? Like, you know, I want them to know that I'm, you know, listening to them. And so I have to force myself. But really, if somebody looks at me in the eyes and I will cry. I can, if I have a feeling from them or if they're harsh with me, you know, I'm like a 40-year-old woman. But I'll cry. Oh, yes. If you take the wrong tone with me, if you look at me in the eyes and you're cross with me, I will start bawling. So, you know, I think it's something that it really stands out to you that they really, you know, and I don't think it was intimidation. They just wanted you to connect with them. Okay. They wanted you to hear them and they wanted to hear you. Okay, so it wasn't like they were being mean and bullying you, you know, kind of like towering over you, wagging their finger in your face. No, I think they wanted you to stop what you were doing, to look at them, and for you to communicate with each other. Okay, and so I think this is like a very loving, kind of stern message. You have to listen to yourself. You know, don't get carried away. Do not get lost in something that is, first of all, going to distract you from your priorities. Second of all, and this is the big one, be a financial, chaos of your life. And this does happen. There are plenty of stories. They have full YouTube channels dedicated to this. People meeting people online and getting catfished, or the people are lying about who they are. And, there's this aspect of a romantic relationship or a very emotional connection, and they start asking for money, right? And so you have to be careful. And you find out, okay, I've given them all this money, and then they never, you never know who they really were, and that's terrifying. But that happens to people. It absolutely does. It's not, just once in a great while. This stuff happens all the time. So you must be careful and diligent. And if you're not sure, ask somebody that can help you kind of do some research. I know my acquired mom, there was a few years ago, there was like a bunch of stuff on like Facebook where there were like clone accounts and people asking for money, and it happened to a lot of people. And she had to ask me constantly, is this a real, is this real? Is so-and-so really, trying to get a hold of me? And then, we would have to call family members to make sure that this wasn't the real account. And, it's scary. Sometimes you can be fooled. Even with our my husband and I, again, shout out to Devin Serpentero, you all know, if you've been on the channel or any of these channels, really, we start to get these clone accounts, and they leave comments asking, you to send money or call this number, send a text to this WhatsApp or whatever. And, I try to post in the community section and talk about this as much as I remember to. But if you ever have any question about, is this really, me saying these things in my comments, or my husband on his channel, you can email us. In every description of the video, of each reading, there's an email there for myself, and then my husband has Paul. I should call him Paul. He has a name. He also has an email in his. So if you really don't know, and you need help figuring it out, you can email us. Now, we'll never ask you for money, and Paul doesn't do private readings anymore. So if somebody's telling you they'll do a private reading, it's not him. Okay, I do private readings, but you have to contact me through my email. There's a whole process. I'll never ask you. I'll never message you, first. I'll never, we have to be vigilant. Okay, there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of people out there doing stuff that it can be tricky. It can be tricky on the internet. So, I think it's important, if you have any questions, go call your grandkid, or, your, sister-in-law, or somebody, somebody who's savvy, and ask them to help you out, because that's something that terrifies me for people, just falling into one of these situations. But not only that, it doesn't have to be financial. My goodness, you could just meet somebody who, is not a safe person, and that's the reality of things. So, unfortunately, that's just the world that we live in these days. So we have to be careful. And I think, you have people around you that care about you, and they're looking out for you as well. Okay. Now, let's take a look over here. We have an owl and a heart. I'm seeing, it feels like long grass. Almost like kind of at a lake or like a marsh area. And I kind of almost wonder if this is a place that you like to go. If this is something that you've been thinking about. Maybe in the next seasons here, you'll be going on a little excursion or taking a break to a place that has water. And I think this is one of your happy places. And I think that maybe this is something you did as a child even, and you've been dreaming about it for years and years. And maybe this will be the year that you get in your car or get on a train or, take a flight and go back to that place that you used to vacation or, go on a little family trip or whatever and see it again. I feel like there's a real draw to this place. I almost wonder even if like there's sand dunes or the tall grass. That sound if you live in a place where it gets very dry during the summer when late summer and things are starting to really dry out and the grass is so tall and it's starting to turn brown and you can hear the wind kind of going through it and it just sounds like like a little, they're clacking against each other a little bit. And I can hear almost you walking through that grass and standing there on a little hill and watching the waves of the grass being blown around. And it's in stark contrast to blue, very blue water. And I feel like your fingertips right on the top of that grass as it's blowing, kind of brushing against your fingertips there. And just a feeling of kind of like, this is happiness. There's happiness here. It's nothing, it's interesting when we learn the secret of life, one of the secrets. I mean, it's not the ultimate secret, but it is one of them. And that is that if we can find ease and happiness in these just tiny moments of perfection, and it doesn't even have to be perfect in anybody's, definition of perfect. It could be absolutely chaotic, really, but there is a perfection for you. You are aligned in that moment. And this is that place where the divine lives. And you have access to it almost all the time, right? That is a powerful realization. I mean, the ultimate revelation. It's amazing, when we have sensations about things. One for me is when I see water reflecting, light reflecting off of water on a wall. And it's, it started with swimming pools when I was a kid. And then when I got older, I would run around. There were these kind of aqueducts behind all of the neighborhoods. And they carried water. There were channels, and they carried water behind the houses, the developments and things. And there would be, bridges and stuff back there. And this is when we were allowed to run wild all day long with no adults around, right? Just a pack of kids on bikes. And the water would catch the light just right, and you would see, just an absolute beautiful display of light underneath the bridge, the concrete bridge there. And even from a young age, I just knew this is God showing itself to me. This is the divine showing its face to me. And there's been a lot of different things that feel that way, but I absolutely, if I'm anywhere and I see, that light bouncing off the water, going onto a tree, a wall, whatever, I absolutely will stop and stare at it. It is mesmerizing. And I know I am in the presence of spirit. It lets me know. And so, you know, and I think that this is similar to your experience here, you know, and I think this is why you're so drawn to it. I think that you dream about it, you know, probably fairly often. So maybe it's time to make a pilgrimage. Okay, Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Let's take a look at these. The Dreamer's deck, 40 affirmations for pursuing your dreams. And I'm going to go ahead, flip through and stop where it feels right. I know that I am the only one who determines how my story unfolds. I am the main character. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're Virgos, right? We're like we're humble main character, maybe. All right. Okay, Virgo, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending time with me, allowing me to bring you this bonus message for you this week. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean the world to me. And with that, I just want to tell you again, I love you. Take care of yourself. Be vigilant. Look into things. You know, I think one of the things I've noticed about us Virgos is that we don't like the feeling of somebody getting one over on us. And sometimes we will remain ignorant just so we don't have to have that feeling of somebody, you know, getting over on us with a lie or whatever. But, you know, there's no shame in somebody fooling us. You have to remember that. There's no shame in that. That's on them, not on you. That's their stuff, not yours. Okay? So make sure that you're protecting yourself. Okay? All right, Virgo, I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.